Right. Well, hello, everyone. This is different. It is a shame if people think Mugabe speaks for Africa. He doesn't. I mean, the vast majority of African leaders would have totally dissociated themselves from what he said yesterday. And this rubbish about neo-colonialism, that is merely a cloak, a cover for what is a corrupt, ruinous regime that is damaging, most of all, poor black people in Zimbabwe. And, you know, we should be thinking as an international community what more we can do about it. The trouble is the number of levers we have in our hands are limited. But there's no doubt at all, Claire's absolutely right, there is a potential humanitarian disaster there. And when I was in Mozambique, I saw grain being offloaded from a ship in Mozambique for transport to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is potentially one of the richest grain nations in the world. And yet, because of the way he has ruined the country, it's having to import grain for its people. It's a terrible, terrible tragedy. And one other thing that should be said very, very clearly, this nonsense about somehow, you know, we have held up land reform. The money is there for land reform. He could get that money and use it for land reform, because land reform is necessary, at any point in time he wanted. The only demand that has been made is the demand that it's done through the United Nations program in order to make sure that the money goes to the people, the poor people that actually need it, not into the pockets of him and his henchmen and the other people running the show.
Principle, it's actually right. Sure, you must have been examining this, and I wonder if you have an answer.
Mental question has pitted the black majority, who are the right holders and therefore primary stakeholders to our land, against an obdurate and internationally well-connected racial minority, largely of British descent, and brought in and sustained by British colonialism, now being supported and manipulated by the Blair government. We have said, even as we acquire our land, we shall not deprive the white farmers of land completely. Every one of them is entitled to at least one farm, but they would want to continue to have more than one farm. More than one farm indeed. 15, 20, 35 farms, one person. These are not figures I am just getting out of my mind. They are real figures. So no farmer is being left without land. Let no one who is negative want to spoil what we are doing for ourselves in order to unite Africa. We belong to this continent. We don't mind having and bearing sanctions banning us from Europe. We are not Europeans. We have not asked for any inch of Europe, or any square inch of that territory. So, Blair, keep your England and let me keep my Zimbabwe. Mr. Chairman, having said that, may I say, people must always come first in any process of sustainable development. And let our Africans come first in the development of Africa, not as puppets, not as beggars, but as a sovereign people. I thank you.